All right. Hey, you guys, when you've been doing this not as long as I have, you realize that sometimes when you publish things with people that nobody's ever heard of, people might not care about the people that are doing the things that you care very much about. If that didn't make sense, that's because we started a tabletop podcast and we have several episodes banked, and we just started the podcast with everybody role-playing and nobody knows who we are. So I figured right now, since we had kind of a scheduling problem, we might as well get to meet the people that are playing now and have played before. So I'm going to start with Jesse. You played in the last campaign. You were a blood hunter. You were,
Yep.
Elokar.
Elokar.
Right.
That's right.
So I remember playing with you. We did Dragon Age years ago. Was that the first time you'd ever played like a tabletop game at that point, or had you played before?
No, that was, I played once before when I was like in elementary school, and we did like the very first, like a 2-episode type thing. But no, and that was my first like true D&D type experience.
Tabletop thing.
Was with Martok in the Dragon Age campaign that went on for quite a while.
Yeah, you were trying to
a warrior of some kind.
Yeah, Gil. What was your guy's name?
Martok.
Martok's the one now, Dragonlance, but I'm talking about the Dragon Age.
Martok's the one now. Yeah.
The Dragon Age one, I'm trying to think. Your guy's name was
Galron.
Galron. There was a lot of Galron texts of, hey, Galron. Like, I remember Galron in character in the campaign said, he's just a nail and I'm a hammer, so I got to take this guy down. And I was like, wow. And I was playing a game where I got an achievement that said, this person is a nail. And I said, this is Galron's achievement right here.
This is Galron's achievement. Yeah. That was his famous thing was Mike was right. And that was his like theme of if you're strong enough to do it, then that's the correct thing to do, type deal. And he was a hammer, and he saw everyone else, every object in his way as a nail.
Right.
So he just,
that was
It's kind of like that show that's going on Amazon, The Reacher.
Oh, like, where he's like just beating the crap out of everybody. Yeah, he's huge. Dude, that guy is huge. Alan Richardson or something. He's huge.
He solves every problem with his largeness. And that was kind of what Galron did.
It's so crazy. Christian, you, of course, are the newest person that's played with us. Do you have 3 sessions under your belt? We've had like a scheduling thing. Yeah. So, I mean, how are you like? Yeah, how are you liking it so far? Are you liking everything? Is it too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I made the joke, you are wearing your boxing Enter the Ring thing right now. We got to get you something for Christmas with like golden lettering with like Swami on the back. So
listen, I'm all for it.
You could just come in victorious, and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna get a nat 20. So you decided to do a somewhat complex class as a sorcerer? Did it just sound fun, or excuse me, was there a reason why you picked being a sorcerer? Or again, is it something that just sounded interesting and you thought, we'll give it a shot?
It's something that I normally pick on games. It's just like I try to pick something as far as realistic as possible. I already live in real life,
right?
So I wanted to pick something that I could be creative with.
Yeah, there's no office manager in D&D. You can't.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, sir.
None of that. There's no. Yeah.
There's no cabinet builder.
That's right. Yeah, you don't like just. Yeah, can you guys finish building these townhomes? Like, no, we're not doing that.
No, I'm gonna throw this fireball.
I'm gonna throw this fireball. That's what I do. Yeah. I notice, is there anything that you're like, oh man, I wish, I mean, you only have a couple sessions under your belt, but like, is there anything that you wish was like, I mean, do you like Talespire? Do you wish it was more like Theater of the Mind stuff where I was just explaining stuff to you, or do you like the visualization? Because I know when we've been using Talespire for a long time, but when you started using it, you were like, oh, I really, really like this. Like I can see what's happening, especially with combat. That's usually what I use Talespire for, is the combat. Do you like that more with instead of me just telling you how far away somebody is and how?
No, the Talespire helps a lot.
Yeah.
It helps out so much with the visual and painting the picture.
Yeah. Well, also,
you know what I mean?
Jesse loves,
especially in the fighting scene.
Yeah, that's usually what I use it for. And Jesse loves the measurement tool because he wants to know exactly how many people he could hit with a fireball or something, or
That's right.
It's almost like it's Baldur's Gate where he's like doing measurements of like, well, if I hit this, then this will happen, and then this will explode, and then we win. And I keep having to tell Jesse, you don't win D&D, Jesse. You do well, but you don't win D&D. He's like, I'll prove you wrong.
Hey, you have your game that you're playing.
I will
bro. At least he's not over there trying to torture people, bro.
That was you. That was you. You're self-reporting right now, Christian. You are self-reporting right now. Man, these crazy people that are like to torture things. Like, wait, you're talking about you.
I just wanted to see what I can get away with.
It's fine.
Oh, man. I had a whole, like, because since he was going that route, I was like, I'll just kind of join him. And I had a different idea of what to do. Like, I don't know if I want to explain it now because I can maybe use it in the game, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, we did some stuff. I mean, to let everybody know, we did some stuff kind of like behind closed doors because Christian had never played before, and I thought it was unfair to record everything of him just being brand new. Of like, he's streamed and stuff before, but I wanted to, because I said, if you don't like this, I don't want you to, you're not going to keep showing up every week to do this if you don't like it. So we should see if you like it first before we continue on. And just to let you know, Christian, we had a meeting with Jesse and Todd because they were our only other players. And they wanted to take a character from level 1 to level 20. So that's going to be a commitment, well, depending on if your character biffs it or whatever, like which can happen. Yeah, you can roll terribly. And so, I mean, you can, I'm not going to like, you can't ever play again. You can roll up another character. The big joke is you always make a character that's a sibling of your first character. So that way you don't have to have anything explained.
Oh, God.
You're like, they had a journal on him. I'm fine. I'm caught up.
Oh, my twin brother.
Yeah. I read it
south.
I read a journal and I'm fine now. Let's just go. You don't have to catch me up. Just go. So, so also to let people out there know, we are changing. I like the Dragonlance, the Shadow of the Dragon Queen book, but I'm changing quite a bit of it because, we said or I said a minute ago, everybody wants to play a session from 1 to 20, so I obviously have to change the module to fit that because I'm trying to slow the ramp to get you guys to certain places. And I also think some of every module you have to change things for the group because I don't think they fit, or I think it's odd. So,
well, you are experienced enough at GMing where you'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out, that if you're new, you would not think, you wouldn't recognize that, right. And you wouldn't be comfortable enough to do it. But now at this point, you're like, oh yeah, I could just change this. I have to modify this a bit.
Yeah, I think, some of the things they want to pay off in the module probably won't. I mean, to talk about behind the screen, and one of the early things that even is before the first scenario, somebody that you guys are supposed to be very good friends with dies. And I thought, this is strange. Like, they don't know this person. He's not a player character. This NPC, if you just say a name, they're going to be like, okay. And I understand if the group is really good at role-playing, that would probably be okay. But I want you to... I mean, if somebody dies, I want it to mean something. I want it to be a group member. I don't want you guys to die, but I'm saying if one of you was to die, that would mean a lot more than some random NPC that is just text in a box on a whatever. If Swami tries to throw a fireball in a combustible area and biffs it, it's like, he was...
or blows me up.
Yeah, he lived as fast and hard as he loved, or something. You have to read a eulogy about him or something like that. So yeah. He
died creatively.
Yeah, it was a creative way to go. That'll be on his tombstone. Yeah. Remember that time he was creative, and then he died. I will say, Christian, starting out, I was very impressed with. I set up that scenario with some of the guards, where the soldiers were standoffish with the mage of the red robes. And not really having that much experience playing, I was like, wow. Because you're like, I want to find out why people don't like this mage, and I want to ask questions. And I was like, dang. I was like, that's commendable, because I think if you're new and starting out, you'd be like, do I talk? Should I talk? Should I role play? What do I do? And you're like, I want to talk to these people. And I was like, great.
Yeah, bro.
Go talk
Information is key. Information is key.
Yeah, and then after that, I think we worked on your backstory a little bit, because you can be Swami, the person in the world, or you can really think about who Swami is and like, I have motivation. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm here. You know, the worst thing is to go, oh, I made a character, he's cool. Like, well, why is he on the road? Why is he whatever? You know, stuff like that. So, yeah, I was like really impressed when you did that. I was like, whoa. And my wife was like, when we got done with the session, she said, how did it go? And I go, Christian actually asks questions and cares about my campaign. And then there was a tear that fell down my face. And then I went to bed and I was like, like quiet sobbing in bed. My wife was like, are you crying? No. Someone cares. And it means a lot. Because I did write stuff and think like, well, what if somebody asks? And Christian's like, I will be the one to ask. I did like how Jesse was like, well, you know what? I guess I have to be the one to escort it. Like, there was a part where you had to like escort someone back to base, which seemed kind of like busy work. But you're like, I'll do it. I guess I'll do it. I guess. Like, I kind of wanted to be there at the action, but I guess it's me.
I'm not stealthy. Yeah, because I could keep them alive as, you know, I would be a good escort. I just figured I was the best tool for that job.
You were rewarded for your, you know, they did give you stuff, which was nice. So,
yeah.
How are both of you guys feeling about the setting? Like, do you like, I mean, I know we're starting out, but is it, because there is kind of a mystery that I'm trying to weave. I don't know if you guys have caught up on it yet or what. I mean, it's not explicit, but, I mean, have you, because, Christian, you don't know about Dragonlance at all. You don't know that from anything, right? You just, yeah. I mean, do you like it so far? Like what?
Yeah.
It's cool. Because there's different factions that don't get along, like you've seen with the knights and the mages, you know, and there's a mystery happening. Jesse, did you, I mean, do you know anything about Dragonlance, or have you like read the...
I've read a couple. I've read the Legends of Huma, and the Rise and Fall of a Black Dragon, and it's on my to-do list because I read a lot of books. I read about 24 a year.
Oh,
roughly. So
hold on.
Yeah.
You read about 20 books a year?
Yeah, 20. I used to read like 36, but now I read about 20, 24. I have a Goodreads account.
We're dummies, Christian. We're dummies. I get what he's saying.
So I
keep that. I'm not the only one that caught on to that, right?
No, I got it too. I
just threw that number. He just threw it out there like, yeah, you know, I read about 20.
Christian, I know we're just doing this right now and you probably don't want to think about anything else in the future, but what about like another, because we have other things we could play. You know, this wasn't just going to be a D&D podcast. We have other systems, like stuff in the future, stuff in modern day, kind of like alternate history stuff. Like, would that interest you, or do you just like this fantasy setting stuff? Do you just want to stay?
No, I'm open. I'm open for it all. I'm just excited for this one because I'm kind of trying to push the boundaries to see exactly what I could do and what I can't do.
I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, we're here for you. We're here as a group for you to push the boundaries. Yeah, because I think I don't know how Jesse's schedule is going to be. Like you said, probably not till mid-year that you'll be free. But like, there's systems that sometimes I use my wife for, like a new dice system or something, where I just do like a 2-hour one shot to just get the rules down, you know. And there's some systems I have that I'm kind of unclear at. So maybe Christian, you and I will do something. Maybe I'll invite you over. We'll have lunch or something. And I got a little bit of room in my den. We'll set up a single camera and we'll do like a one shot. There's Shadowrun, which if you don't know what Shadowrun is, it's Seattle. It's like cyberpunk Seattle. There's magic is back in the world. People use implants. It's the near future. It's great. Then I have Riffs, which is like sci-fi kitchen sink, I call it, because any idea that you can come up with a character, there's a world book in Riffs to create that character. I've literally sat at a bar with friends when they had the books, and it's like, well, what if I wanted to make a bug that had powers to open ley lines to teleport to different places? And we would flip the book and go, this right here, you want this race, and you want this class. So Riffs, if you're interested in, like, I want to do something off the wall, it's like there's 30 world books with classes and subclasses and races. So you tell me what you want to do. The basic premise is it's after a nuclear war. It's like 100 years after a nuclear war and everything was being rebuilt. And the whole world was kind of changed after this nuclear apocalypse. So like every time they would come out with a world book like Mexico or South America, it was always a new land that like had the cultures built back up. They had Japan, like demons were back because dimensional portals opened up and demons would just come through. So like they had to fight Oni again, like anime. It was like crazy. Germany was back. They had the Black Forest and there was monsters in the forest, and they would be riding mechs and stuff like that to kill the monsters in the forest. There was the NGR, the New German Republic, and then obviously in America we went super Nazi. There's this thing called the Coalition, which basically built these incredibly fortified city states where people could live safely, but they don't give people rights, so people couldn't read or write or anything like that. But they kept everybody safe, and they have like war machines and stuff like that. But if you look at all their armor, it's very fascist adjacent. I wouldn't say Nazi, but it's close. You can see it from there. You're like, oh, I understand where they got this inspiration to create this armor from. It's very Third Reich. Cool. There's obviously free states and stuff like that, but yeah. But there's other systems like...
Talking about that, I was going to create a character for that one, which was a nanite swarm as gray goo, and I start out as like a jelly donut or something like this, and then my like leveling up is just remembering stuff, like, oh yeah, I could do this thing, and then I just have this new, but I've always had it. I just like forgot how to do it.
It's like it's almost like you were made in a lab and you're kind of like coming to terms with like what happened to you. And you're like, wait a minute. It's like in a video game where it flashes back and then you have that power unlocked where you're like, wait a minute, they did this thing to me that you probably could.
Like you were like
a Wolverine,
like a super weapon.
Yeah, you could do that
before. And then I like lost my memories through an EMP thing, and now I'm just like slowly regaining.
There is like a Wolverine type ability in Rifts too, where you basically are an experiment, and I used it on one of my characters, and you are a tank. Like I was healing, like I literally just ran into battle as like a human being. And in Rifts, there's like SDC, which is like machine guns, pistols with bullets and stuff like that. And there's MDC, which is like lasers. And like one MDC from like a pistol will just go through somebody's body and kill them instantly. My guy could take MDC. So like if I took a tank shell, if he survived, he could regenerate. And it was one of those things you do in high school because you're bored. And everybody's like, you're never playing this character again because he's nigh unstoppable, which was fun. But, for me, but nobody else thought it was fun. I don't think anybody else thought it was a good time. So, what else? So, Chris, I thought he left. Your boxing, you're blending in the background with your boxing outfit on. I was like, he's gone. Do you, so it's after we did the background with your character, have you actually been thinking about your character, like where you want to go, like story-wise? Like, do you want to talk to more people in different towns? Are you trying to find out more information? Like, is it something you think about when we're not playing? Because I think that's, I mean, I do, obviously, because I have to, but like, do you as the player, are you thinking about it as, when we're not in a session? Are you thinking about like, oh, I want to do this or try this or do that, or maybe tonight I'll try this?
I think of like ways to find more towns to get more information of like what's been going on. Because as of right now, as much as we know, it's like, okay, so there are these camps that are holding hostages, and I want to ask around like,
what's going on?
Who was deciding to grab this specific group of people?
Yeah.
And for what reason?
Yeah.
That's what I've been thinking.
Yeah. Jesse, what about you?
How can I level up to do more?
Well, just to let you guys know,
more destruction, like that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't say this, but I'll say it now. You will be leveling up very soon. I understand what it's like. I've been in a campaign where I'm slowing it down. In the campaign I'm in on Fridays, they are drastically slowing it down. And let me tell you, when you have the same amount of hit points after like 4 combat encounters, you're like, come on, man. It's been 8 hours and we haven't leveled, like in game. Like we've been playing for 2 or 3 sessions in like 8 to 12 hours. And I need some hit points or something. I need a feat or something I'm getting my teeth kicked in
or a big encounter. Or when's the big encounter? Like a big boss type of encounter. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
that's what's been playing on in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there will be a big encounter, but I don't know at level 1 or 2 if that's the time to be like, hey, go for it, guys. Good luck in there.
Hey, you know me.
You'll give it a shot. You're like, it's a Wednesday, it's a Thursday, Joe. I feel wily. Maybe we can just go after
it. A fireball. 120 range. I can shoot and back up a little bit.
I mean, I just want to point out, Christian, that this module that we're playing is called Dragonlance. So sometimes fireballs aren't as effective over some of your enemies than you think they are. Where you're like, oh, what color is a dragon? Red. Fireball. Really, Christian? Okay. Well,
he regains his hit points.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Healing him.
Yeah. Stop it. Stop helping. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
I like mobsters or monster. I said monsters. With kind of like gimmicks, like a red dragon. You throw a fireball at it, it heals. Like that makes sense.
Oh God. Chill out.
Where it's some like puzzle.
Right.
Like they have a certain way that you could kill them like very easily, or you can do it the normal way.
Or if I can tame it.
Or you could tame it, which would be like, hey, if you try to feed this thing a ration or whatever, it'll just become your friend. Like you could have just done that instead of doing a combat.
There's a lot of social skills in the game, Christian. I mean, there's a speak with animal spell. My
character does speak with dragons, right? It does have that language.
You have Draconic. You can speak with them and level with them.
Listen, bro. I promise you, by the end of this, I'm gonna be riding a dragon. Listen, one way or another.
That'd be pretty cool.
I say boom.
And one day I want to see a boss with a. It's not necessarily like a boss, or with just like a separate mechanic. Like I don't know if you play World of Warcraft, where you have like certain other things that you have to do during an encounter in order to defeat it, right? So like when I was doing my like little short amount of DMing, like you could have a puzzle that you have to solve while a horde is just on top of you, and some of you have to like defend the guy trying to solve the thing. When they have to pick someone to solve it while they're doing that thing, and then another stage, like there's multiple stages,
right,
and that sort of stuff. That'd be pretty fun. I don't know how that would work. We'd probably all die, but
Yeah, and I think for me that's going to be the thing of obviously doing level 20. I've never done anything to level 20, so it's going to be a balance, and obviously trying to make it challenging for you guys, because you don't, at level 20, you guys are going to be very powerful, and you don't want people to just steamroll, like your big bad guy, right? You plan these combat encounters, like Jesse said, with tricks, and the players are, level 20 or 15, and they just have all these tricks, and they just roll through, the enemy, and you're like, well, that was not fun, for anybody. It wasn't fun for me, so like some of that is, gating everybody to make sure that everybody's having a good time, and that's, I mean, when this is the tabletop experiment, when Jesse and Joseph both said, we want to go to level 20, I thought, all right, let's do it. I haven't done it before. I think the highest level I went to was 12 or 13. And that gets rough, especially if you're a spellcaster. You have a lot of tricks that you can use to hurt people.
Casters mid-tier are like so overpowered. Like they can solve all kinds of problems with magic.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a force wall or a bubble. You can make people, like, you can counterspell incredibly powerful spells. So if you see a mage casting a spell, you can counterspell, upcast it, and then there's a dice formula for like, here's what you got to get on the roll, and if you're high enough level and your spell save's good, you could be like, actually, it's not going to be that tough for me to, counter his spell, which is not cool when you're like, I got this big, he just countered it. But they can also counter spell too. So you're like, it's not fun when it happens to us. Yeah. It's not fun.
Happens to you, the DM.
Yeah. He's just I'm just crying, and like my box over here gets super small, and I'm just crying. It just zooms in my box being really small, and me just crying for no reason whatsoever. Like,